In any case, guys, welcome everyone to game number 1 in the series. For anybody who was here before the stream dropped, I'm very sorry about the inconvenience. But the OBS just crashed, so we had to kind of adapt. And now we should be good to go, so let's take a look. So on the left-hand side, Viper, over here playing with English, is going to have a, you know, a battery of bonuses for his civilization, from faster training archers if you go for the council hall, to, you know, the network of castles bonus as well, which is going to make your civilization super good at defense. Variety of other things, cheaper, faster farms as well, if you build them around the mill and whatnot. We will see what we get. For the Viper, for his civilization rather, what I have seen before that worked really well and what I would like to see will be probably spears and archers, then some siege into the mix. Meanwhile, for LucifroN on the other hand, with Delhi, he's going to be playing defensive most likely. We were talking about this earlier. Delhi are so good. They do not have to pay resources for the upgrades, but they take forever unless you get some scholars in, right? However, that can also delay you quite a bit. So we'll see. Alright. He's going to start taking some gold. Yeah, and he's got the mosque, of course. Meanwhile, if we take a look at the Viper on the other hand, the Viper is just going to be going for his standard build. He's got 7 on food, 3 on gold. He's going to start adding either a few extra villages on food or on wood. He's going to wood right now, so that's pretty good. And yeah. You know, actually, I had jumped into this game before, but OBS, it was not showing it, so the preview was kind of frozen. I was asking, guys, can you see it? So I had to open my own stream, and then I realized that it actually had ended for whatever reason. So thanks, OBS, we're going to have a different bot for this one. Hey, I guess that's going to be more convenient for people to find, right? If we have one bot per series as opposed to a single gigantic VOD, but anyway. There we go. Council Hall is coming up. We're gonna start seeing some archers coming out from this one like super fast. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand is going up to the village himself. He's got the Dome of the Faith coming up over here. Once again, this is going to produce scholars for cheaper from the landmark, which is going to help in research and upgrades faster and whatnot. For the time being, we have only 1 scholar over here, but it's fine. Doesn't really need that many. Yeah, it's good. Still going to take some time, of course, to research everything, but that's pretty good. Hey, what does the Viper have over here? A nice monumental, a lumberjack. So anyway, very curious to see if the Viper is going to go for what's expected, or if he's going to try and go for something else. Delhi, on the other hand, on a more turly map, on a more like a closed map, I would probably expect him to play more defensive. But over here, I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to afford that with the English putting so much pressure from the get-go, so to say. We'll see. Here comes the Viper, bring the sheep back. It's about to finish researching or actually building the council hall. And the Dome of the Faith is coming up. Just 1 second for LucifroN as well. Yeah, there we go. And village should be here for both players at about the same time. It's coming here for the Viper. LucifroN's going to be there in just 1 second for sure. And there we go. Yeah, Lombos coming out right away. These Lombos, extra range, although a little bit slower, are going to be so good, especially against light armored units. But what I really like about them, and what we saw them really shine at, is once you get a decent amount of units up, you can research the camps for your Lombos, so then you can just spam camps and you can keep on rehealing your units, or you can just reset the HP of your units even as you move. So it's it can be a little bit comparable to Chivalry for French. With the difference, of course, that it's going to be dependent on how many archers you have, how many times you're going to be able to reset or to place different camps before you have to wait for the cooldown to finish. But anyway, barracks coming up over here, so the Viper will be going for Spearmen into Lombos, or Lombos into Spearmen rather. It's very straightforward. However, I do not know what the ratio of his composition will be. Earlier, what we saw work really well was usually about 3 to 2 for archers and spearmen, respectively. We're gonna see if the Viper is going to go for something like that as well, or if he's just going to adapt maybe, or go for something different. You can see he's not going for any extra Lombos. He's going for a few right now, and there we go. Set up camp. This is what I was talking about. That's pretty good. Also, previously, I didn't really see the English archers set up the spikes, even if they were against French. So we're gonna see this time around. I guess it depends on what LucifroN goes for. Technically, he can go for even, you know, like elephants, but don't think those would worry too much about a few spikes here and there. We'll see. It's probably just going to be pikemen the issue, but blacksmith's coming up for LucifroN, so you can start getting the upgrades out. We'll see the archer range on the way. And the best he can go for over here would be archers. And archers are, unfortunately for him, not going to be quite as good, of course, given that Viper's units are going to have extra range. And then with the setup camp technology, they can also keep on resetting their HP. So let's see. It's gonna be one villager going down, 2 villagers going down. No, yes, he got him. Viper starting strong over here, while LucifroN on the other hand is trying to get some units out, but it's taking a long while. He's getting a few horsemen, or actually he's got 1 horseman queued up. He's got a few horsemen already out, but they are completely out of position. The Viper on the other hand's got some spearmen over here, and it seems like ratio is going to be more like 2 to 1, with a little bit higher than that for the archers actually, with 8 archers and 3 spearmen over here. That's still going to be enough meat shield for him to hold on against the scouts, and then eventually, you know, the scouts are going to... Yeah, there we go. Eventually the scouts are going to be able to take the archers down, but at the very beginning the spearmen are going to be absolutely instrumental for Viper's army composition. And LucifroN on the other hand is going to bring the horsemen back. Scholar's going down for LucifroN over here. Man, just cannot catch a break, can he? Viper was going for the spikes over there. I'm pretty sure that was a mistake, but now he's gonna have to wait for the cooldown before he can set those up once again. So yeah, he set up camp. He can keep on going for more for sure. Yeah, he's doing a really good job over here. Even if he ends up getting cleaned up, which he will, he's been able to get a few villagers down over here, and that's still going to work towards his dominance for economy. If we take a look at the villager count right now, for instance, for LucifroN, he's on 26 eco units, while the Viper on the other hand, he's on 29, so he's already gotten a 3 villager lead, which is not going to be a small feat, of course. These extra units keep on rolling in from the Viper. Now we're gonna see early men at arms coming in from the Viper. That can be so strong. This is so good. They get Vanguard men-at-arms. Now we're gonna have early men-at-arms, which are stronger. And these are so good against standard archers. So these units from LucifroN are not going to be quite as good anymore. If you mix some men-at-arms into your spearmen, do we have any extra spearmen over here? Just men-at-arms for the Viper. This can be super strong still, because, you know, the men-at-arms are not going to go down quite as easily against your archers. And they're going to be a fantastic meat shield against horsemen over here, which are light armor as well. So the men-at-arms are working really well. In the end, the Viper is going to win, I think, this engagement. It feels like to me. Kind of hard to tell at this point, though we have a lot of men-at-arms over here. But once again, the archers, as they are alone, are not going to suffice. We need crosses over here, which we don't get access to until the castle age anyway. So, you know, the early men-at-arms over here for the Viper, working really well for a meat shield. Plus Lombos, it's just amazing. Here he comes. With a new group of units. Or actually, with the same group of units, he's coming with... Yeah. a new push over here up north. But over here he's still doing a lot of pressure. He's putting up a lot of pressure without being pushed away. Good job. Viper's got the spikes over here. Well played. Yeah, he can push LucifroN away, and now he's gonna keep on moving forward. The importance of this is Viper needs to keep the units up so he can regroup the army up. Otherwise, small groups like this are not going to work when LucifroN's got one big army to work with. So yeah, like this, right? The horsemen and the archers are going to be taking down the minotaurs, and then the rest of the units can go after those archers. Like the horsemen can take on the archers, and then these archers can take on the minotaurs. Even if we have heavy armor for minotaurs, that's still a good amount of archers, you know. Eventually those are going to go down. Great pressure from the Viper. He's just everywhere, man. He's just absolutely everywhere. We're a little bit behind compared to the live game for sure, but it's fine. I'm not going to fast forward, try and catch up to live, because for game number 2 we're gonna have to wait through the spec delay anyway, so I'm just going to, you know, catch up naturally, and then that's going to allow us to save some time when jumping into game number 2 potentially. Good job. Yeah, well played. There you are. Yeah, LucifroN's still heavily going into horsemen, archers. He's really trying to hold on. The minotaurs over here are super strong for the Vipers. He's got 6 over here to work with. He's got an outpost coming up as well. What a great reinforcement for the Viper. Hold on a moment though. LucifroN is getting a good run going over here, but he's still up against Lombos, who have set up camp. It's up against minotaurs. We're not going to get about the archer fire quite as much. But if he can take all the Lombos from the Viper down, then the meat shield of horsemen over here plus the archers might be enough for LucifroN to hold on. You can see that he's got actually a higher score compared to the Viper, which is pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the upgrades for these units. So we already have an extra attack for LucifroN's units, right? And the Viper's got the extra attack as well. Now we have extra armor for the Viper. We have extra armor over here for LucifroN as well. And the Bull player is pushing out to the bot position. Unit control over here and patience. But the Viper not having quite as many Lombos over here. He's got to be patient enough to wait until he can get a good amount of units up before he can keep on pushing again. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand's gotta be patient and not overcommit to a push, because Viper's still going to have the defender's advantage, which is probably going to suffice given that LucifroN does not have a massive army lead for the time being. Let's take a look at the population for both players. With the Viper right now on 39 and 16 for eco and military units, we are going to have 38 and 16 right now for LucifroN, which is great! After the Viper was able to take villages down from LucifroN, being only 1 village ahead, it's actually really good for the blue player. However, the Viper's getting the score lead right now. LucifroN's gotta be really careful. Yeah. Now let's see, the blue player trying to get control of the sacred sites. There are 3. The center one is a little bit closer to Viper's base compared to LucifroN's base. That's going to be a little bit harder to control for sure. But now he's going for 2 out of 3, which is already pretty good, of course. And LucifroN should be able to hold on against the scout. There we go, sacred side control over here. It's gonna be getting this one on the right hand side as well. Remember, these are not only going to account towards your yeah, these are not going to account towards your sacred side win condition, but it's also going to give you extra gold. So you can see the Viper is going like immediately after the sacred side to try to neutralize it. He's taking the scholar down and he's able to start neutralizing it right away. You know, LucifroN on the other hand, well, he's bailing right now. Viper's push is a little bit too strong. We still have a lot of minotaurs over here. Do we have any extra upgrades? I think we do. These early minotaurs are super strong right now for the Viper, and they are doing a good amount of damage. They're providing a great meat shield as well, which is probably more important if he's gonna have so many longbows on the back. So we'll play it. Good job. Yeah, and we see the outpost coming in for the Viper. Defensive building, but it's pretty much offensive in this case, of course. We have the camps over here for the Viper as well. He's going back. That's a really good surround with the horsemen over here, but we're still going to have all these Minotaurs protecting the archers, and let's see. Yeah, Viper's going to dominate over here. So many Minotaurs! So hard for LucifroN to fight. Like, he's got no answer. He's been going for the units he can go for. So far, he's been going for horsemen, he's been going for archers, like he's got nothing against the Viper's Minotaurs. At all. At all. Yeah, professional scouts right now for LucifroN, so maybe he's gonna try and bring a few deer back home, maybe? I honestly don't know. Yeah, the scholars on the back of... Yeah, LucifroN's army is going to be pretty clutch, of course, but I feel like this might be a little bit too late. If he had that a little bit earlier, that probably would have been better. Oh man, the wood economy right now for LucifroN is like really bad. He's got a single lumber camp so far away. These villagers are actually spending so much time walking. Given the amount of lumberjacks we have over here, he's got 26 villagers. He should have like close to 1,000 wood per minute, and he's got 700, so he's got only like 70% worker efficiency over there because of the lumber camp being so far away anyway. Good job, LucifroN might be able to finally clean this up. I don't think so though. I think the Viper's Minotaurs are still too strong. Yeah, they are. They are. LucifroN is finally researched right now 1 extra armor on the horsemen. But I don't think that will suffice. I don't think that will do too much. There we go. This should be going in favor of the Viper. I don't think LucifroN's gonna be able to hold on anymore, guys. He's got nothing to defend himself with. He's got some archers over here, which once against Minotaurs is not going to do anything. And yeah, we have a camp over here, healing the units up from the Viper. Yeah, there we go. And now LucifroN does not have any defense anymore. He's got almost no military units. So he's getting completely cleaned up on the farms, and that's going to be GG, guys. As Viper takes game number 1, he's gonna be getting the score lead 1-0 against LucifroN. Let's go and take a look at the stats over here real quick. Starting with military, we get a very nice 10 to 7 KD ratio, or actually more like 4 to 3 KD ratio for the Viper. For economy, on the other hand, we have a stronger economy for the Viper for sure. For technology, on the other hand, we have a stronger technology score over here for the Viper, and he's the first one to get to the fuel age as well, to start, you know, spamming archers and whatnot. He was able to get a significant lead very early on. If we take a look at the timeline, for instance, we can see how the Viper, as soon as he got to the castle, to the fuel age rather, he started just significantly outproducing the blue player. If we go and take a look at the villager count, it's going to be fairly even for both players. The Viper was able to take a few villagers down, then it seems like he ended up idling the TC a little bit, or not producing quite as heavily as he could have. But still, much better position for the Viper overall. Welcome you guys then to game number 2 in the series between the Viper and LucifroN. Let's reveal all the map over here and let's see what we get. It's going to be Boulder Bay. Just this beautiful hybrid kind of watery map. And we have French for bow players. That means probably gonna see bow players going for water and try to fight over control of the lake. However, keep in mind the French also do get a few extra bonuses from knowing where the neutral trade posts are, to getting, you know, faster training villages as well, and it's pretty good. You know, if you get water control, potentially this could be good. The coastal trade post as well. So we'll see what we get. So LucifroN's got a house, right? But yeah, he's going for a house just in time. Something that's good for Age of Empires 4, good in my opinion anyway. Like, you get house and the units still produce. They're just not going to come out, so you do get a little bit of time to react, as opposed to just getting extremely punished right away. It's a little bit more forgiving as well, for sure. Let's see who's going for dock. Already we have the Viper up over here. He's going for the first fishing boat. Meanwhile, taking a look at LucifroN on the other hand, has got the first fishing boat already out actually. Alright. Are you going to see Hulks for LucifroN and the Viper? The fuel H right away. I imagine. First fishing boat coming out for the Viper. LucifroN is going to go for the second one already. He does have a nice head start over the Viper, which is pretty good. So his economy is going to be a little bit stronger. Remember, if you have one extra unit out compared to your opponent, you're going to be getting about 40 extra resource per minute. Usually not quite as high unless you're 100% efficient, but somewhere along those lines. Now, the population is about the same for both players though. 17, right now it's 18 for LucifroN, so he does have a 1 population lead, but that's about it. A little bit of an engagement over here, as the Viper is actually taking sheep, I think. Yeah, he's taking sheep. He's probably just going to bring the carcasses over. Oh no, he's taking the sheep from LucifroN actually. Good job, good job. And LucifroN cannot do anything over here, so the Viper is going to be alright. Yeah, I don't think LucifroN is going to lose a villager over here either. Yeah. Scouts are just not that strong in Age of Empires 4. But we should see the players starting to think of going up to the fuel H very soon. The Viper seems like he's going to be the first one to click up or actually to build a landmark to go up, given he's got a comparable amount of food income, but he's got a much higher amount of food right now. It's got almost enough gold. There we go. The build seems to be a little bit cleaner for the Viper. It seems to be a little bit tidier. And LucifroN, on the other hand, not quite as much. There we go. Viper's going up already. We're gonna see the School of Cavalry coming in. It's gonna be putting pressure on land for sure. I'm very curious to see if LucifroN will be going for the same as well. For the time being, he doesn't have the resources, but he's getting very close. Eco-balancing has been a big issue for LucifroN. Take a look at it. He's getting 300 gold already, and he still does not have enough food to go up to the fuel H. So yeah, he has to collect a little bit more. Now he's going to drop the food, and now he can go for Chamber of Commerce! Wow! I think that's going to be the first time that I've seen this tournament Frank's actually going for something other than School of Cavalry. So this Chamber of Commerce is going to act as a market. All traders and trade ships return plus 30% more resources to any market or dock. So that's going to be the bonus for this one. It can be so strong. And then because of the French bonus as well, if you take advantage of this neutral trade post, the coastal trade post, it can be so good as well if he does end up getting water control. We'll see though. We saw earlier how when trying to go for full trade, things worked out compared to somebody else going for full military pressure. So the Viper's School of Cavalry over here suggests to me that he's going to try to go for full pressure, which I think is going to be the way to go for this one, but we'll see. Last time around, we didn't see French versus French. We saw something else. We saw French versus Delhi, I think it was. I think it was Mongols, actually. But yeah, this time around, French versus French, it's going to be probably different. But we can see that there's no interest from LucifroN to start trading towards the left-hand side market, so going for full land aggression over here might not be the way to go for the Viper. So, on the right-hand side, if he does end up trying to trade towards the coastal trade post, it's going to be so much better for him. However, he does need water control for that. This could be really good for LucifroN though, because if he is the one committing to water, he's got like 2 docks over here already. He could get like insanely rewarded. Meanwhile, the Viper on the other hand, he's got 2 docks over here to work with as well. He's got 6 fishing boats. LucifroN is getting to the fuel H a little bit later compared to the Viper, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So what are we going to see over here? We see hulks coming out from the Viper. He's gonna send these forward. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand, he's got some hulks coming out. He's going for additional sails, which is going to increase movement speed of all ships. So yeah. This doesn't seem much of an upgrade as much as a purchase, but I guess it does make sense if people had not thought about that before. It could be like an upgrade, right? Like, hey, we have discovered that adding extra sails actually makes it go faster. But anyway, we'll see. Does it have a visual effect, by the way, on the ships? Because we're gonna have to wait for LucifroN to get the upgrade out first, right? I think he just finished researching it. Yeah, he did. No, it's not aesthetic. It's just functional. It's the same amount of sales, despite researching additional sales. But anyway, it's just going to make the units go in, move a little bit faster, which can make microing a little bit easier. You know, maybe you're gonna be able to sneak in 1 or 2 extra attacks. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to dodge those, but maybe you know you can approach, get 1 extra attack as you get your attack reload time, and then your opponent's not gonna be able to get quite their own attack before you bail. We'll see. Let's take a look at the Viper's view over here. He doesn't know about LucifroN. He doesn't know much about his navy. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand doesn't know much about the Viper either. He doesn't even know about a dock from the Viper. The Viper at the very least knows about the dock from LucifroN. So we'll see. Some stealth weeds over here. Oh, for a split second over there, the Viper's units became visible. No, LucifroN knows. He's going right after those. The Viper's got more, so LucifroN's got to be really careful over here. Pound per pound, these are going to be the exact same. It's just faster for LucifroN, but that's going to allow him to either force the engagements or bail from the engagements a little bit easier, but he's not really going to be able to, once he is into the engagement, take it any better compared to the Viper anyway. Like, the stats are going to be the same, so let's see. Comes the Viper, it's got 4 hulks. Yeah, you can see that he knows. This is really good from the Viper as well. The moment he realized that LucifroN was completely walled up over here, he decided against going for cavalry because it was going to be just wasted resources. Instead, he's just going for full... Yeah, it's just going for full water. So let's check. 4 versus 4, and Micro's coming in over there, and that's going to be very, very similar engagements for both players. Remember though, the Viper will be on the back foot over here because LucifroN's got the dock over here to reset the HP of his units. Meanwhile, the Viper is going to have to go back towards his own docks to get his HP back. Overall, I think the Viper's got 5 hulks. Meanwhile, I think we have only 4 around here, don't we, for LucifroN? He's got 5, so he's got 3 docks over here. He's gonna be producing a little bit fast, a little bit stronger. You know, the Viper on the other hand, he is on 1, 2 docks only. And he keeps on going for more hulks, but now it's going to be kind of rough. So yeah, it's of course... There we go, transport ship. It's the only one he's gonna be able to get access to in the fuel H. Yeah. What do we have over here, by the way? We have a medium gold vein, right? Yeah. We have a relic over there as well. So there's not really a whole lot to go for on the island over there. Like, if you don't have water control, you're never gonna be able to take this gold. And if you get water control, you're probably just gonna be going for trade instead. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. Keep in mind that Viper is kind of forced into winning water. If he does not win water, he just falls behind by so much because of the Chamber of Commerce that LucifroN went for. The Viper just cannot match this. So if he loses water, you know, like the trade ships are going to return 30% extra resources for LucifroN, that's just going to be huge. And even if the Viper decided to start trading on land, he wouldn't really be able to do much of anything to try and match up to LucifroN's gold income in that regard. Oh well, any resource after all you can choose. Let's see about this though. We have about 6 units over there for the Viper. Meanwhile, LucifroN's got 7 over there, so this could be really good. Now the Viper's bringing another one over here. It's going to be 7 versus 7 overall HP pool. I think it's looking a little bit better for LucifroN. If I'm not mistaken, the Viper, I think he's got a few too weak Hawks over there. So good job. I think this goes in favor of LucifroN. Oh boy, that's one ship sinking over there for the Viper. That's another one! And that's only the first one going down for LucifroN. The Viper's getting completely annihilated on water. And LucifroN, if he can hold on to this lead that he's got and take a look at that, 2 extra ships sinking, he will get water control, which signifies access to water trade, which can be absolutely essential for LucifroN given he's got the Chamber of Commerce. So what a great position over here for the blue player. The Viper is still trying to come back, of course, but it's a big struggle. He'll go after the fishing ships at the very least, but I don't know, man. LucifroN should be able to defend over here just fine. He's got only 2 hulks, but he should be able to bring these hulks back as well. That's going to bring his count up to 6 versus 4. So yeah. Good job. There we go. That's another one going down over here for the Viper, almost right away. He managed to get to the castle age though? How? Well, sacrificing his water present, that's how most likely. LucifroN does not have enough resources to go up. His eco balance has not been the best though, to be fair. In the market, the tram balance is gonna need to go up for sure, but yeah, after having lost water over here, I don't know really what the Viper is gonna try and do. What is the plan over here? It's going for demolition ships. It's gotta be really careful. Yeah, these could potentially get picked up before they blow up, but we'll see. We'll see. What is the blast radius for demolition ships, by the way? Wait. What? Oh. Is this one? Yeah, there we go. He's got it. So, yeah, 300 incendiary fire, and he's got 2 times range. So this can be, and plus 200 against ships. So this can be super strong. He's going forward. I think he's probably going to end up taking the fishing ships, most likely. That can be very good value for the Viper, but he'll probably end up getting pushed away from water regardless. More demolition ships, let's see. Yeah, LucifroN's gonna be really careful over here. He does not want to be with all his units together as the demolition ships come in. And that's what I'm talking about! That was a great shot from the Viper. He's got demolition ship over here as well, and yeah, he deleted it, but it's only 1 fishing ship going down, so that was still pretty good for LucifroN. And you know what? He's got a 600 score lead over the Viper. This could be really good. Yeah, for LucifroN still. Like, he's not really taking too much damage there. Meanwhile, the Viper, on the other hand, he's got an extra TC. He's gonna try to keep up like this. Let's see if LucifroN is gonna start going for trade ships. As now he's, yeah, taking both these docks down from the Viper. He should be going, he's going for fishing boats as opposed to going for trade ships. Interesting. Well, he's got plenty of docks, so okay, like, it's fine. Yeah, that's still going to account for more than 2 TC's worth of eco unit production, right? Let's take a look at that actually right away. We had 12 villagers idle over there, but we have 69 eco units for LucifroN. The Viper, on the other hand, has got 62, so we're still on a lot of extra units for LucifroN. I would really like for him to start going for some trade cards or some trade ships eventually, because obviously this is not going to be quite as efficient when these fish start running out. Although with 100 food, or with 1000 food, sorry, each, I guess it's going to take a long time for LucifroN to even deplete the shore fish. So I guess it's probably alright. I guess it's probably alright for him to prioritize that. It's going to be like having villagers working on food as opposed to sending the trade ships right away, right? It's good. Alright, never mind. Just don't mind me. LucifroN is going up to the Castle Age right now. He's going for the guild hall. We have seen this one before. It's going to allow you to mass resources and collect those. Eventually, the more resources you collect or the more resources you save, the faster the resources are going to come out. There's a 30C coming up for the Viper, so he knows he's out of water. He's got to come back elsewhere, right? Yeah, and the extra TCs are going to be a fantastic way to do that. Guild holes here, so LucifroN is already in the Castle Age. Viper's got a lot of resources. LucifroN's got a lot of wood right now. He really needs to balance his economy. Viper, you know, with this eco balance he's got, is probably going to be able to go up to the Imperial Age even faster than LucifroN, despite LucifroN's eco count being so much higher. Let's take a look at LucifroN on the other hand. He's got 118 out of these 80 are military units. Yeah. And the ships are going to be accounted for more than one unit at a time. Where's the Viper going for outposts? It's got only one. There's a gate coming out for LucifroN, so we'll see. Oh, forestry completed. Okay. Blacksmith. Double blacksmith coming out for LucifroN. Alright. Veteran completed as well. Veteran what? Veteran spearman? No, veteran Royal Knights, there we go. Veteran Royal Knights. Not really going for any trade ships just yet. It seems kind of curious. I'm just taking advantage of all the fishing. It's alright, it's got a few extra fishing ships coming out. Meanwhile, the Viper on the other hand is just gonna be going for trade, I imagine. Yeah. How much is it getting per trip over here? It's getting 139, so where is the market for the Viper? Yeah, it's all the way over here. That's pretty good for the Viper that he went for the market close to the corner. Uh-oh, the Knights are coming here from LucifroN. And the Viper's got a few spearmen over here. I think these are standard spearmen, veteran spearmen actually. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, that's pretty good still though. For LucifroN. We're just getting a lot of intel over here, even if he was not able to get a single villager down just yet. Getting some intel over here is going to come in super valuable later because he'll know exactly what the Viper is either going for or can go for. Sorry about that, there was a very loud beep coming in. I wasn't really sure what that was for. Alright, two battering rams over here coming in for LucifroN. I don't think the Viper is aware of this now. That can be extremely fatal if the Viper doesn't know where the units are coming from. And I don't think he does, but he's got the resources to go up to the Imperial Age. So what is the Viper going to do? His economy is just all over the place, man. He's got so many resources. Yeah, he's going up, but what is he going to build? What is he going for? And where? is he going for the landmark? He's going for landmark over here. He's going for Red Palace. And now he knows. Now he knows about the archer ranges over here. Now he knows about the pressure coming in from LucifroN down south. He's got to keep on the hill, actually. Which is pretty good, but yeah. The Red Palace over here is going to be as a keep. Right? And it's like a fortified keep of sorts. Let's reveal the entire map and let's see what LucifroN's got to work with. It's got a lot of knights roaming around everywhere! And these are veteran royal knights as well, so even though LucifroN might not have the resources to go up to the Imperial Age, he's already doing so much damage around Viper. The Viper's got no defenses. LucifroN's got knights, he's got spearmen over here, he's got a little bit of everything. Overall, for economy over here as well, LucifroN is on 110 eco units. Meanwhile, the Viper, on the other hand, is on 102, and it could potentially keep on dropping. The more units that LucifroN can take down with his raid over here, with the Knights around, the Spearmen around as well, the more of a lead he's gonna be getting over the Viper. So even though the Viper's economy was looking a little bit stronger because of the amount of resources he had, you can see that it's just a matter of spending resources into different things. The Viper was booming, and LucifroN was going for military units, and so far he's been able to make the military play work a lot better. Viper should be able to hold on over here just fine, though. I think he's 107 villagers, but he's got plenty of DCs if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yeah. Yeah. It's got 3 DCs. Should be able to catch up in villager count in no time, but that's going to come in as an extra investment for the Viper. Meanwhile, LucifroN is going to keep on investing units into, or investing resources into units, which he can use to keep on punishing Viper's economy. Well, that's pretty good defense, though, to be honest. From the Viper, the keeps and the Red Palace are actually doing a lot for him to keep him alive. Just like that, the Viper is gonna be getting a hidden score, 5400 to 5100. Dude, these fortifications from the Viper are just doing so much. It's ridiculous. The keep, the Red Palace, you know, with extra upgrades on top of the base damage, they are so strong right now, and it doesn't seem like LucifroN's gonna be able to do much of anything with these Castle Age units anymore. He's trying to get some rams out, but I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really have any extra units over here to defend the rams with anyway. So I'm not really sure what this is for. Once again, fairly surprised that LucifroN's not been going for trade ships whatsoever. He's got only full fishing ships over here, which is good for the units he's going for, but without gold, he's just gonna be going for trash units. Food and wood. His trash units alone, and then a few extra rams could potentially be still very strong, but I don't know. I feel like gold income it has been like very questionable so far for LucifroN, and the Viper's just been able to get away with booming over here. Yeah, despite LucifroN having a higher amount of eco units for the majority of the game, the Viper's been able to get a very good game over here. Let's take a look at military. You can see the overall KD is better for LucifroN, I would say. Yeah. Which is interesting because it doesn't really check out right now. When will a blue player be able to go up to the Imperial Age? He's got almost enough resources. Just struggles for the time being. We have crosses over here, which is pretty good. That's going to work wonders against the Knights. We have veteran Knights over here. He does not have a lead just yet, but yeah, these are going to go down for sure. There we go. Yeah, LucifroN's been the one putting the pressure up, but he's been struggling. He's got transport ships right now. Viper's 160 population. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand is on yeah, he's on 173, so it's still higher population. And now, finally, LucifroN is going out to the Imperial Age. This might be another very good, very long game, just like what we had for the previous series, I think. This could be absolutely fantastic. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm very much hoping it's going to be quite as good as what we saw earlier today. And Viper's got a sacred side. I don't think it's gonna be able to do much of anything with that, of course. So yeah. Good job. Here, let's just see here for LucifroN. So what will he go for? Should be going for probably, let me check. Yeah, I think he should be going for, there we go, for elite Royal Knights as well. Wow, he's got the keep. Increasing production rate for all these tables. That's beautiful from LucifroN, by the way. Well played. That's a beautiful, beautiful layout. Viper on the other hand is trying to get a keep up on the cliff. He's got another one over here on the back, so he's gonna try to keep on pushing and gain ground on LucifroN. I think he's got siege, right? Yeah, he's got 2 bombards, so he should be able to take this keep down as well from LucifroN for sure. Well played. Still very heavy raids from LucifroN so far. Yeah, it's just been trying to put the pressure up. Now Viper's finally coming in with the bombard, so he should be able to take on the keep over here. And he will. Wow, it's just getting completely chunked. Well played. Wow, is he gonna be able to take this one down in 5 hits? It seems so. Yeah, the bombard's over there looking super strong. Yeah, he ends up pushing the Viper away. Kind of. Are these elite? Yeah, these are elite already. These are elite. But we have a lot of spearmen over here from the Viper. He's got men-at-arms as well. So he's got spearmen, he's got men-at-arms. Both of these are going to be elite. I'm gonna keep us taking a lot of damage for sure. Yeah. Well, one more hit and the keep crumbles. And he's gotten it! LucifroN on the other hand is going after those units. He cannot really target this keep while these men-at-arms and spearmen are around here, so he needs something else on top of it. The thing is, he's got only knights, so knights are not going to be the best against all the spearmen, of course, that we have from the Viper. Really good job though on the back of Viper's base from LucifroN. Keeps on sending more units in. He's got 191 population compared to the Viper 180. So this has still been some good damage on the wood line for LucifroN for sure. Well played. Should be able to take the knights over here for sure. Yeah, the push right now is much harder for the Viper compared to LucifroN. And the spearmen are doing so much damage around the wood line as well. It's just remarkable how after being behind in eco count for so long, the Viper was still able to get a significant lead over LucifroN, and now he's gonna be extending onto it by making a switch from extra eco to extra military. And we have elite men-at-arms coming in over here. It doesn't seem like there is an easy answer for LucifroN to Viper's army composition, as the red player's got a little bit of everything. He's got fantastic siege, which is very hard to hold on against, first off. And then we have fantastic infantry over here as well. Meanwhile, LucifroN and only paladins over here, or rather elite royal knights, cannot really do much of anything against like elite spearmen and elite men-at-arms. We have some Springles coming in for the Viper as well. He's got a counterweight trebuchet too, which is pretty good. Bombard's going down for LucifroN. That's gonna hurt so bad, man. That's gonna be GG. The Viper is completely dominating the series so far. 2-0 against LucifroN. Yeah. Let's take a look at the stats over here real quick. For military, we have a much higher score for the Viper, who managed to kill not quite as many units as he lost, but I think it's been cost-effective trades for him. As we saw, he was trading like Minotaurs, Spearmen for Knights, and you know, LucifroN was trading Knights for the majority of the game as well. Early on, obviously, it was very close on water, but besides that, it was much better for the Viper after they made the switch over to full land aggression for both players. Overall, for economy, it seems to be a little bit better for the Viper. He managed to collect a lot of extra wood. Not quite as much extra stone. And he was behind by quite a bit in food collection, but still gonna be getting extra score, so I think probably would account into more points than food in any case. But yeah, besides that, for technology, we have a faster uptimes for the Viper through the ages, to the Castle Age, and to the Imperial Age as well. For whatever reason, it's not showing up over here, the Imperial Age anyway. 0% the map explorer for the Viper. Yeah, I think this is probably not accurate, is it? For society, on the other hand, 127 to 103 villager high for the Viper and LucifroN. You gotta keep in mind that LucifroN also had fishing ships, which he had in great numbers. Do you have any extra spec delay to wade through? We don't. So welcome, guys. We are basically live right now as well. We are only 5 seconds behind. As a matter of fact, like I cannot fast forward to catch up. Let me see if I can slow down. I cannot slow down either, so let me pause it. Okay. Let me pause it a little bit more to see if I can fast forward and catch up a little bit better, because I know that you can be up to like 2-3 seconds behind only. Okay, we are 10 seconds behind. Screw it. Let's review the map. So, what do we get this time around? Viper's gonna be... Oh, this map! This is Hillan and Dale, yes. So, the Viper is playing down south over here. LucifroN is up north. We are probably gonna be switching the camera around depending on who's doing the pushing, because it's a lot easier to see, you know, units coming into your base if you have the hill view over here. But yeah, notice, however, though, how Viper actually has his famous map hacks over here are gonna be also an Age of Empires 4 thing, because he's got a forest already blocking. As you can see, it's already blocking the way in one of the entrances. So he only needs to take care of 2. One on the right hand side, which is fairly narrow, and one on the left hand side as well. So I think it's going to be fine. As long as he does not get any units pushing through the forest over here, he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, LucifroN, on the other hand, he's got a much more standard map generation with 3 ways that he's got to have to protect. Yeah, and then on the right hand side, I guess if he just goes for a few palaces towards the wood and from the wood towards the edge of the map, it's going to be kind of comparable to the Viper in terms of protection, but it's not quite as good as being like straight out protected by one of the entries, or one of the entries already, right? So yeah. What do we get over here? The mosque is already up for the daily. So yeah, remember, buildings within the influence are going to be researching stuff faster, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. Research rate of buildings within the influence of a mosque or a madrasa increased by 12.5% for each garrison scholar in mosques and madrasas. So that means you can get potentially up to 8 scholars garrison, and that's going to double the speed at which you research stuff. But yeah, once again, for daily it's free, so it's fine. You want to get the upgrades going ASAP. Like, you're not gonna be wasting any resources in that sense. No, is it wheelbarrow coming in for LucifroN? It's going to take some time. 6 minutes, 8 seconds, but he's going to get it eventually, so that's what matters. Yeah, he's got one scholar garrisoned over here, so he's gonna be researching this one a little bit faster. Meanwhile, the Viper, on the other hand, he's got the House of Wisdom already, and he's already going up to the fuel edge, so he's researching the eco wing, the economic wing, which means he's going to get access to the foodstuff over here, fresh foodstuffs, which is going to reduce villager training costs by 50%, which means he's going to be able to go for a second TC and produce villagers for as many resources as it'd be to produce from a single TC, right? Which is pretty good. Meanwhile, LucifroN, on the other hand, is already going for the Dome of the Faith. Once again, this is going to allow you to train scholars at a 50% cost. Just going to make it's going to make getting a few scholars into the buildings a little bit easier. And yeah, I think that's about it. Both players should be going up at about the same time, I think. Let's see exactly how long it's taking for. Oh, never mind. It's actually going up a little bit faster for the Viper. So it's gonna be there a little bit sooner. He got spotted by LucifroN. Let me see if LucifroN knows about the forest. He doesn't just yet. No. He doesn't know about the forest. So he's going around. He knows about one entry. He's going to find out about the other entry being blocked by the wood. Not really, because he's not gonna be able to scout into the forest. He's not gonna be able to see beyond the the first few trees in the forest. Scholar under pressure, but it's fine. He can just garrison it, and he will. Well played. Yeah, and the Viper should be able to get to the fuel edge already, right? Think so. Yeah. He's getting there. Good job, fuel edge is here. Now LucifroN should be able to get to the fuel edge himself as well. So what is the plan though? With Delhi, you know, it's not really the strongest civilization to go full aggressive with. You really want to take your time, get your upgrades up and whatnot. While the Viper, on the other hand, well, the Viper is just gonna try to boom away. I mean, he's going for an extra town center over here. With the economic wing already up, he's going for fresh food stocks. And that'll allow him to start training from both TCs for the cost of a single TC worth of villager production, right? It's pretty bad though from LucifroN. He was trying to go for the sacred side! He was banking on the Viper, turtling the game up, but he was not able to secure it, and now he might end up losing the Scholar over here. It's taking a lot of time for LucifroN to lose that long, but still. The Viper might end up taking it, I think. Nah, the Scholar isn't at half HP still, so it's going to make it into the mosque just fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's good, it's good. Yeah. All the Viper could do would be try to block the Scholar, but that would be probably the way to go if he was behind or if he was pushing him back home. So start doing it earlier rather than when it's only 5 tiles away from the mosque. Anyway, Viper should be getting ahead significantly in villager count. So far we had 25 over here for LucifroN. The Viper, on the other hand, he's got 22. Wait, what? 26 for LucifroN? And the Viper on 2 TCs is on 22? What? Interesting. He's probably gotten a lot of extra idle TC time. It seems very un-Viper-esque. Yeah, no, LucifroN's gonna try to get control of this one. Once again, now he's got archers. So he can defend the Scholar against scouts, and here comes the Viper. I think the Scholar is full HP, right? Yeah, it is. There you go. Good job. He's going to control one sacred site. Let's see if he's got vision of all the sacred sites though. It's very important for him to even know where these are before he can take control of them all. He knows about one only, and he doesn't know about the other two. Okay, now he knows. Yeah, he knows. Maybe he did scout it. Let me take a look at the other one. Has he scouted around this area? He has scouted around this area, so he will know. He will know, no problem. Try to get the sacred site over here. He's got a few archers coming in. Good job. Should be able to hold on just fine. We have a horseman over here for the Viper, a little bit stronger. But both these are still going to be light cavalry units. Scouts and the horsemen. Yeah, good job though. Good job, good job. He can take on the archers. No problem. There's a spearman coming in here, and the Viper is not going to bail. He bails, but he already took a bunch of archers. And the sacred site is still very much in the works. He ended up losing the scholar over there to one of the scouts by the looks of it. Did he? No, he got pushed away. Oh, but he cannot do anything over here. He's going back towards the sacred site. Let's see if he can get the spearman over here in time. I don't think he will though. The Viper will end up taking the scholar over here. It's only one hit. Yeah, and the scholar goes down. That was so unfortunate for LucifroN. And the Vipers played a really good game. Despite being on double TC full boom mode, is being able to protect the sacred sites from getting controlled easily by LucifroN. Good job. Let's see. Yeah, Viper's neutralizing this one. LucifroN's going back to it. It's going to give him gold as well, so yeah, it's very, very good for him to keep it. To keep control of it, though, in any case. It's a lot of gold, by the way. You can see it over here. Whenever it goes up, like a chunk at the same time, as opposed as to like 10, 15 at a time. It's just the sacred site. Extra barracks coming in. That's going to be the second barracks coming in for LucifroN. Yeah. And the Viper pushes him away. I'm not really sure if he lost the scholar. It doesn't really matter though. As long as he can get a few units over here, or at the very least he can kill the Viper before the sacred site gets negated, then it's not going to get neutralized. Yeah, he's getting it back. Good job. He's trying to get this one right now. Oh, and the Viper's got a scout. The scout's taking so long to take the scholar down. I think the scholar might end up getting the sacred site control over here. Not quite. He needs to get rid of the Viper, otherwise the progress bar is not going to continue growing. Good job. Yeah, Viper's doing a really good job over here around the sacred sites. Yeah, and it's a big struggle for LucifroN to keep control of those. Not only that, but the Viper's also gonna be with enough resources to go up to the castle age very soon. Which is very interesting. Before, we had a much higher villager count for LucifroN. He's on 39 right now. Meanwhile, the Viper, on the other hand, he's on 50. So he's finally been able to take advantage of the extra TC to get significantly ahead in villager count. Meanwhile, LucifroN on the other hand, I think he's got more military units. If I'm not mistaken, we have 5 over here for the Viper. LucifroN on the other hand's got 28, so it's a lot better, of course. But yeah, interestingly enough, LucifroN actually has the resource to go up to the castle age faster than the Viper. The Viper has the food. He's had the food for a while, but he does not have the gold. So eco balancing has not been the best for the Viper for sure. Let's check. Yeah, good job. Let's see if LucifroN can finally get this one. He needs the scholar though. Is he sending one? He's not sending scholars, so he's not gonna be able to get control of this one for the time being anyway. And then over here, yeah, it doesn't have any military presence around the third sacred site. So the good thing is the Viper, even though he's going up a little bit later to the castle age, and we can take a look at this progress bar over here for both players. So LucifroN is going to beat him to it significantly. It's still on a much stronger economy, so LucifroN has not been able to do any damage to the Viper, so he doesn't really punish Viper's greedy play. While LucifroN, on the other hand, ends up getting punished over here, and he was the one being aggressive, actually. But he's already lost a villager. Probably going to end up losing more than one villager over here in the end. The Viper ends up getting pushed away, which is pretty good for LucifroN, but once again, if he cannot start pushing against the Viper, and if he cannot start doing damage very soon, Viper's just going to very shortly start transitioning his stronger economy into a stronger military production. We take a look at this and we still have only one TC for LucifroN. The Viper, on the other hand, is looking significantly stronger. He's got 2 TCs over here to work with as well. He's still significantly ahead in villager count. We see Blacksmith coming up. Yeah, once he gets to the Castle Age. There we go. He'll be able to start pumping much stronger units. Siege, for the most part, as well, is going to be instrumental in Viper's counter push against this front. While the blue player, on the other hand, will. I don't see a single ram coming in over here, or a springald or anything. Yeah. Remember as well that for the Viper, his civilization doesn't really require siege engineering for his units to start producing siege. So we'll see. Right now we have a lot of barracks. We have a mosque coming up. There we go. And that means the Viper's going to start spamming infantry units into siege weapons, into unstoppable push, into GG maybe. Well, LucifroN still has one sacred side, which is going to help in his economy in any case a little bit, but Viper's doing a really good job over here, controlling his unit as well. He's just going to bring the spearmen around, and now he's going to go after the scholar once again. Yeah, good job, but he cannot take it. Can he? If he ends up taking the scholar, that is huge for the Viper. He will! He will take the scholar! The spearmen are fighting over here. Oh, against the Minotaurs! And there is nothing for LucifroN to do over here anymore, so he cannot get control of the sacred side. And over the left-hand side, we see a nice little push coming in for LucifroN for sure. But he gets pushed away like immediately. And especially with both these TCs we have out from the Viper already. It is such a rough spot for LucifroN to get a push going over here. And I feel like he's just going to end up losing everything. Let's get them villagers garrisoned over here. Yeah, and I don't know, man. There's a lot of surface areas both these TCs are going to be protecting, for sure. You can garrison up to 30 villages over there. Now with Minotaurs, the Viper's going to take the engagement over here, guys. Take a look. We have a lot of Minotaurs over here for LucifroN as well, but the score is so much higher for the Viper so far. Still, a TC is going to help the Viper against LucifroN's push. But once again, without any siege over here, these Minotaurs, these archers are not going to be enough to push against the Viper, who's going to be protected by both TCs, I think. A bunch of villagers, though, could potentially go down over here from the Viper. Let's see if LucifroN can target the villagers with the archers while tanking the Minotaurs from the Viper with his own Minotaurs and potentially the Spearmen as well. It's not really going to be able to do too much. So while LucifroN is fighting the Viper over here in the center, the Viper on the left-hand side is starting to expand forward. He's got 2 villages over here. I'm pretty sure he's going to... Oh, he's going for a mill over here. But then he could potentially go for extra buildings on the right-hand side. That could be catastrophic for LucifroN. Because if he's just focusing on the center over here and the Viper flanks him out of nowhere, there is nothing for LucifroN to defend with back home. Good job so far for the Bull player, but Viper's got just insane spam coming up from here. 4 barracks obviously are going to be pumping Minotaurs like there is no tomorrow, and because of Viper's incredible economy right now with 61 villagers, even with 29 either villagers, is still going to be potentially higher than LucifroN's. He should be able to hold on over here just fine, shouldn't he? I think he should. I think he should. Viper keeps on getting pushed back over here, but he should be able to hold on just fine. Now LucifroN is catching up in score though. And Viper, wait a moment, guys. Wait a moment, guys. The Viper's got no economy working. He's got no economy. 29 out of the villagers. And where are the rest of the units? He's just taking some gold over here. But what is he going to do? What is he going to do to push against LucifroN, who's been just putting the pressure up all the time? And LucifroN, no way, on the left-hand side. He's cleaning the Minotaurs from the Viper. The Viper does not have the resource to keep on going for more units anymore. He's under so much pressure, and he calls it GG! Guys, LucifroN is going to take the game, and this is the first step towards a potential comeback from LucifroN. Wow! Well played! Well played! Let's take a look at this real quick. There we go. Viper defeat. Wow! LucifroN is coming back. Let's update the score before I forget. It's going to be 2-1 right now. So for the second player, we have 1 over here. What do we get then? For military, it's a much better KD for LucifroN in the end, surprisingly enough. For economy, on the other hand, we have a much stronger economy for TheViper, who managed to collect more stone, more gold, more wood for sure, and only a little bit more food for LucifroN. But then TheViper, of course, also had to invest those extra resources into the extra villages that he got the resources with in the first place, and yeah, into extra military buildings he was going for on the left-hand side. So he really never truly focused his effort towards either defending or attacking. He got split by LucifroN, and the master play over here from the blue player allowed him to take game number 3. So let's go back, and we're going to be jumping into game number 4 as soon as that one begins. But of course we're going to have to wait through the spec delay in any case. Now let's see what we get over here. First off, we're going to have LucifroN playing with French, and he's playing which side of the map? He's playing in the north. Meanwhile, TheViper on the other hand is going to be playing down south over here. This map, by the way, is Dry Arabia. Pretty interesting. And then it's going to be Mongols for TheViper, so it's a very interesting position. In Hallandale, he just went for walls, and he was able to defend himself just fine using Mongols. He was able to also utilize like the deer stones as well and outposts to keep his base protected as well. But we are not going to have any of that over here. It's going to be much more open. If we take a LucifroN, on the other hand, we take a look at LucifroN's civilization on the other hand, with French, of course. It's most likely not just going to go for your 7 strategy, so 7 villages on food. Now he's going to go and send 3 villages over to gold, and then a few extra more to woods, to food, sorry, is going to be going for the School of Cavalry, and we'll see what we get from there. Give me your honest opinion. Who do you think is going to win? Man, just because of the performance so far, I kind of feel like I should say TheViper, but the thing is, LucifroN was actually able to win a game in which I thought TheViper was going to win clearly, so I'm not really sure anymore. I think maybe I would say TheViper, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 3-2 series. In the end, LucifroN was able to take this one. It really depends on how well he can play the French. He's sending a 4th villager to gold. Interesting. We have seen a few variations here and there for the build for French. We have seen 8 villagers and 3. We have seen 7 villagers and 4. And 8 villagers and 3 seems to me like it's a little bit easier to go up to the fuel age faster than going for 7 and 4. 7 and 4, it seems like it's going to be a little bit better for producing units once you are in the fuel age. So I guess it depends. Do you want the absolute fastest pressure, or do you want the strongest pressure, albeit a little bit later? I guess we are going to get more of a stronger pressure over here from LucifroN, but we'll see. Anyway, Viper's got already a barracks. He's built this one within the influence of the Ovu, so he's coming forward already. He's got double spearman production, which is pretty interesting. What is he going to do with these? Is he going to try and prevent LucifroN from even getting to the fuel age? That'll take a lot though, because the TC is going to protect these villagers already. Yeah. Here comes the Viper. Does he know where LucifroN is even? Now he does. He knows about the School of Cavalry coming in. Let's check. He's going after the villagers, and very good reaction over there for LucifroN. This is good for the Viper. Even if he cannot take a villager down, Although I think he might be able to. But even if he could not take villagers down, this is just going to prevent Lucy from getting to knights, full stop. This is really strong. It was not about the knight in the stable, or actually the school of cavalry. It was about the knight in the gold income. And this is huge! There are other gold veins for sure that LucifroN could potentially get access to, namely up here in the north. But he's trying to get control of this because he's already paid for the drop-off building. You know, and it's already closer to the TC regardless, so he's just trying to get an outpost over here. This could work really well for the Viper, or this could backfire really badly. We'll see. So far, this mining camp is going down in flames, and there we go, the Viper is going to be getting an extra bounty just by setting the buildings on fire. Good job. But now LucifroN should be able to repair this just fine and keep on working. So that was a little bit disrupting for the Viper for sure, but that's going to take also a few of his resources away, so he's not going to be able to go to the field edge quite as fast. Because he's going for the deer stone significantly later than you would be able to go for. They would be able to go for this building if you were not going for spearmen or anything. The influence of the what? The Ovu. This is a unique building for the Mongols that you build on top of a stone quarry. And what it does is it's got influence. It mines the stone for you already. So you can see that the Viper is getting extra stone over here from the Ovu. Until the stone deposit gets depleted, right? But then on top of that, it's got influence. So if you see this and this, the Ovu is actually from the Viper right now influencing this barracks, which gives him the ability to train twice as many units instead of queuing a single unit at a time. So you're gonna be able to produce twice as fast. So you can see over here, 15 seconds for 1 spearman or 15 seconds for 2 spearmen from a barracks within the influence of the Ovu. Good job though from LucifroN. He takes the villager down, and you can see just how different this is. The spearman over there, 5 spearmen for the Viper, were unable to protect this villager against a single knight. Huh. LucifroN's been able to get back on gold over here as well. The Viper's got the can, but I don't think it's gonna be able to do too much with this. It's very low damage right now. Until it gets to the fuel H anyway, it's gonna be only 2 damage per shot, which is very small. Now it's going to go up to 4. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, the Viper is chilling over here, but he cannot really put too much pressure. Meanwhile, LucifroN, on the other hand, is going to start coming forward with the Royal Knights. He could potentially start taking a few villages from the Viper down, but he's being super cautious. Instead, we see archer ranges coming up for the Viper, and I imagine that's going to be for Manglai. We'll see. Very good defense for LucifroN. Might be behind the score, but I don't think he's in too rough of a spot. Now this is bad though. He shouldn't be losing villagers to the can, but he is. That's obviously going to be amazing for the Viper. Yeah, LucifroN ends up losing another villager! He lost both villages over here, all 3 villages on the goal. That is so bad. The Viper managed to get an outpost within range of the goal, which is so good. It's got so much range over here, it's fantastic. So what Viper can do right now is he can pack the deer stones. Where are the deer stones? Over here. So he can pack the deer stones, he can bring these forward, and he can unpack them within range of the outpost, or rather to have the outpost within range of the deer stones. So that's going to contribute towards the YAM network, which is going to make his units faster. And yeah, the spearman doing a really good job against yeah, the knights. And now the Khan is inspiring the archers as well. We'll end up pushing all these archers away. Well played. Yeah, really good job. So far from the Viper, he's just dominating this match. We'll take a look at the villager count right now, the military count. We have 27 and 16 for the Viper. versus 29 and 8 for LucifroN. How is LucifroN still a hidden villager count? What? That is ridiculous. That is just amazing. It's just the French getting 15% faster training villagers in the village already. It allows him to catch up so much better than he would be able to if he had the standard TC, of course. With which he wouldn't be able to catch up at all, actually. So wow, that's remarkable. LucifroN economy is right now not in as rough of a spot as I thought he was going to be given the current situation. The towers have a mile range? Yeah, it's quite a lot. You can see it over here. They get 8 tiles range actually, so it's the same as an Age of Empires 2 towers, just at the 3D perspective. And I think maybe the tiles over here might be a little bit thicker. It makes it really seem like it's much longer than that. For instance, you can see the outpost over here. It's got enough range to cover up until this area, I think, but not much more. 2 TC's worth of tiles, I guess. Good job. Here come the knights. Good unit control for LucifroN. He's taking the spearmen down with the archers. Gotta be really careful. Viper's got his own archers over here. There's another outpost coming up over here as well for the Viper. I think he's going to end up losing the villagers though. That was really good. Really well played from LucifroN, but wait, what? What? The tower came up or the outpost came up? Anyway, wow. He got it. Jeez. Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Viper was able to finish building that. Now he's got a good amount of archers over here. With the outpost, he's gonna be able to garrison those and protect them. LucifroN, on the other hand, is coming around with some villagers to keep on getting more deer. Right now, his fuel income is not the best for sure. He's got chivalry, so these knights are going to heal up when out of combat. But here he comes once again. Should be able to garrison just fine. Yeah, we're going to have one left over here though anyway. What is the white horse for Viper, and why can blue not kill it? The white horse over here is the can. Is a unique unit for Mongols, and it inspires your troops. So you can see how they are shining right now. That's because they are inspired. So there are a few ways you can do it. So you have the maneuver arrow, and you have the attack speed arrow. Depending on what you choose, the can is going to inspire these units to either attack faster or move faster. You're going to see it when the can throws a like firework, I think. A firework kind of thingy. I think the shiny units over here though are because of the Yam network, but I'm not really sure because the deer stones are back home, right? Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. I think it probably bugged out because we don't really have the Yam network over here. We don't have the Ovu. Oh, actually, sorry, the deer stones over here. I might not be getting this one right though, so take it with a grain of salt. But regardless, when within the range of the Yam network, they move a little bit faster. You can see speed increased by 15%. And the Yam network is increased by outposts, but they should be within range, within influence rather of the deer stones, which seems like it's broken over here, or maybe just visually bugged out. But anyway. Well, does blue not try to kill it? He can try, but he's got to be careful because there are a lot of archers over here from the Viper. Yeah, and spearmen as well, so you cannot really approach with the knights. And the Khan is also significantly higher HP than a villager as well, so it's not going to be as easy as he was able to pick villagers with the knights earlier. Anyway, it's a lot of villagers exposed right now for LucifroN. The Viper is taking 2. Yeah, there we go. He's going back. He cannot approach the camp because the Viper's got the archers over here body blocking first off. So he would have to try and target those with the archers. But if he tries to ignore these archers from the Viper and go after the can right away, then he can potentially get picked up from the Vipers, by the Vipers even. So I think he's just trying to be very careful over here. And Viper's walking away. He's got a little bit of a cooldown over here, so he cannot use any of the enhancements for his units, and he's going to get pushed away. Good job from LucifroN. Oh, Viper still has the outpost over here, but he cannot really do too much. So archers can actually kill cover in this game? Yeah, but with good numbers. In that sense, it's going to be the same as with Age of Empires 2. If you get enough numbers, you're going to be able to take them down for sure. Some archers for some civilizations are going to be better suited for the task. For instance, English archers, they can set up spikes on the floors, or on the floor rather, which kind of stops the pushes from cavalry. But yeah, other civilizations are going to rely on numbers just the same as in Age of Empires 2. You have different types of archers for different types of units as well. Standard archers are going to be very good against light armored units. So for instance, the standard archer over here is going to be good enough against can, it's going to be good against horsemen, but not good enough against lancers. Lancers are heavy melee armor, or heavy melee units rather. Heavy melee units are going to take more damage from crossbows instead. So you have archers and you have crossbows, and those are two different line of units. So yeah, it's just a different game, right? So you just have to get used to how things work differently for this one, but that's the way it goes anyway. Viper got to the Castle H. LucifroN doesn't have the resources to go up just yet. As a matter of fact, he doesn't have anywhere near enough resources to go up. Still some ways off from 1200 food. So yeah. Here he comes. We have some rams coming in from LucifroN. I like that they just didn't try to make an AoE clone with different graphics. Oh yeah, like this is very different in that sense for sure. That's good or not, it depends on who you ask. Some people were really hoping for the AoE clone with better graphics. Good defense for the Viper, well played! These are villagers only though, so he's going to end up losing one. Yeah, and he's getting pushed right now. We have Royal Knights from LucifroN. The Viper on the other hand's got a bunch of archers, but these are not veteran archers just yet, which is the Castle H upgrade for archers. These are standard archers, so they are not going to be quite as good. Still though, because of the... Yeah... Because of the inspiration they got from the can, they were able to clean up the units from LucifroN, and that's going to be GG. Well, the Viper then moves on to the semifinals after taking LucifroN down with a final score of 3-1. Yeah. That was very unfortunate for LucifroN. He ended up investing a whole lot into military he was not able to take advantage of, so his economy was never in good shape to go up to the Castle Age, while the Viper on the other hand. Let's take a look at the villager count over here in the timeline. You can see he was not quite as high in villager count compared to LucifroN, despite having taken a few villagers from the Blue player before. But he was still able to go up to the Castle Age faster. Actually, totally didn't count. Let's go back to villager count. Yeah, but he was still able to go up to the Castle Age faster. He macroed, or he balanced his economy better anyway. And yeah. AoE2 clone, different, not better? Yeah. yeah, it's definitely not better. I don't think it's necessarily worse. I think it's just a different game at this point. I'm enjoying both though, to be honest. But I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, of course. Let's have the score over here. It's going to be a final score of 3-1 for the Viper. Moving on to the semifinals, which we are going to be casting tomorrow, starting 15 GMT.